Om Namo Namaha. As it is said in Rig Veda, Ano Bhadra Kritavo Yantu Viswata, means let the noble thoughts come to me from all the directions. So that should be our aim, and we will go through the dimension of science through all the directions. In this video, we will discuss what is science, what is Vedic science, and why it is important to add it in modern science. Our whole channel is dedicated to Vedic science, so first it is important to know about science. So, what is science? If you will just type and search science at Google, you will get this definition of science: the intellectual and practical activity encompassing the systematic study of the structure and behavior of the physical and natural world through observation and experiments. So, observations and experiments are heart of science. So, how do we observe the things? We have our five senses to observe the phenomena in nature. For example, eyes to watch, nose to smell, ear to listen, tongue to taste, skin to touch. But what if there exists a phenomena which is beyond our senses? Does science fail in that case? No. Then we do experiments. So, what is an experiment? Experiment is a process by which we can observe the phenomena which are beyond our five senses. For this, we can also take help of some experimental tools. For example, we can't observe the water in milk, but by proper chemical analysis, we can clearly observe it. Similarly, we have microscope to observe the small entities which are not in our visible range or which are very small. Similarly, for larger bodies which are far beyond our observation, like to observe the planets, we use telescope. And we are very familiar with the telephone. Telephone convert the electromagnetic waves into the sound wave which are in our audible range. So now we will see what methodology is used in science. How can we say that any theory is scientific or non-scientific? So how does science start? It starts from the question, like Bhagavad Gita. So the questioning is in our culture, but questions should be asked to know something, not to show something. On the basis of that question, we make some hypothesis, and then we do some experimentation to prove that hypothesis. Then we analyze the results from the experimentation. If the results match with hypothesis, we can say the theory is scientific. Otherwise, we do the same process again starting from the hypothesis. If the results doesn't match with the hypothesis, then we make certain assumptions and try again. Now we will discuss the problem with modern way to teach science. The first and the biggest problem of the modern way to teach science is that it completely ignores the God consciousness, or it completely disconnects us from the spirituality, while the Vedic science is deeply connected with the spirituality. So the Vedic science is good for our spiritual well-being as well as our materialistic well-being. So if you study science deeply, then you will be connected with the spirituality. We can see the laws of physics are different in quantum mechanics and different in classical mechanics. Similar case is with spirituality. So it is another dimension of science. But the modern science completely ignore the Vedic roots of science. In India, the less importance is given to Indology. There are numerous colleges in which Indology is taught, and the research is being done on the Vedic scriptures. And if you will type and search Indology on Google, you will see most of the Indologists are not Indian. Another problem is study has become money oriented. The people study more to earn, not to learn. So now you may have some idea about Vedic science. So we can define Vedic science as science used by ancient Indian sages or gurus having roots into Vedic period to explore the dimensions of astronomy, mathematics, economics, architecture, Ayurveda, also known as medical science, psychology, morality, agriculture and more. So is there any methodology described in Vedic science as we discussed earlier? In Patanjali Yoga Sutra, it is clearly mentioned that Dakshanu Pramanani means to test any theory or prove any theory. We have Anumana means theory itself, Prataksha means direct evidence, or we can say experiments. Then Agama means on the basis of that experiment we develop some background knowledge or some assumptions. And if the theory is failed, the process is repeated. So we can see it is same as we described earlier in modern science. Our aim is to extract such information and share with maximum people. If you also know some phenomena which you can relate with Vedic science, you can share us with given email address. We will be happy to share it on our channel. Thank you.